Sampurita pamita par mita balena vidvansiyo kila kilesa samola jalam Tenevvalanda araham arahoti namam vandami buddha mamalam hadayeta pentva Samanta cakkavalesu atra gaccantu devata Sandhammang munirajassa sunantu sagga mokkadam Dhammasavana kalo ayam badanta Dhammasavana kalo ayam badanta Dhammasavana kalo ayam badanta Namo tansa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhansa Namo tansa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhansa Namo tansa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhansa Homage to the exalted one, the worthy one, the perfectly enlightened one. Okay, dear Dhamma friends, today you are gathered here to listen to what Buddha said. In this moment, I would like to explain the path that leads to get rid of suffering. Actually, Buddha's all teachings focus on getting rid of suffering, but it is different from person to person that Buddha has explained. According to audience, Buddha's way that he explained is different. Sometimes people are very intelligent. Sometimes people are the ordinary people. Sometimes some people are not intelligent. According to audience, Buddha has changed his teaching way. But however, his final goal is to explain what is the path of liberation. Buddha has explained the benefits. When we are listening to what Buddha taught, we have some kind of benefits. When we are listening to what Buddha taught, we can see the 5 results, 5 benefits. One of them is, when we are listening to what Buddha taught, we can listen in that what we didn't hear before. That is one of the benefits. When we are listening to what Buddha taught, we can listen in something that we didn't hear before. On the other hand, sometimes when we hear something, it is familiar with us. Then when we listen in it again, then our knowledge is very clear. Our knowledge is going to be clear. That is also one of the benefits. On the other hand, Buddha said, the first benefit when we are listening to Buddha's message, we can hear what we didn't hear before. The second one, that when we are listening to what Buddha explained, then sometimes we hear that before we heard something. When we hear it again, our knowledge is going to be clear. That is also one of the benefits. The third one, Chitta Massa Pasidati, in Buddha's language, in Pali it says Chitta Massa Pasidati. When we listening to this message, our mind is very pleasant and calm. We have no negative feelings, negative emotions while we are listening to Buddha's message. That is one of the benefits. Because when we are discussing Buddha's message, in our mind there is no anger, no ill will, no desire, no jealousy, no delusion. That is why our mind is very pure and calm when we are listening to what Buddha taught. That is one of the benefits. Actually, those things are not here. I am explaining in my memory. Okay, it is very important to know. Yeah? And also, when we listening to Buddha's message, our knowledge going to be clear. That is also one of the benefits. On the other hand, our vision, our understanding going to be clear. We have a very correct, clear vision. Vision is very important. Although we have courage, although we have effort, if we don't have a vision, our path is not clear. Therefore, at the very beginning, we should have clear vision, what we practice, where we are going to. Therefore, our vision going to be clear when we are listening to what Buddha explained. These are the benefits that we receive through listening to this message. On the other hand, all Buddhist doctrines focus on getting rid of suffering. Buddha explained the way to purify our mind. That is very important. Although there are a lot of teachings in Buddhism, finally we can see for the liberation, for the purification of our mind, we have to practice only two. In many ways, we explain what Buddha explained. Last times, sometimes we explain the three disciplines, virtue, morality, virtue, concentration and wisdom. Sometimes we explain three meritorious deeds, generosity, moral conduct and meditation. Sometimes we explain eightfold path, right understanding, like that. Here, I am going to explain another way that Buddha explained to become the achievement, become the enlightenment. One of them is we have to practice loving kindness for the purification, to get rid of suffering. The reason is, as I mentioned before, we mostly suffer because of anger. If we can reduce anger, actually we are so lucky. We can overcome suffering, which disturb our peace of mind. That is one of them. The other thing is wisdom. Loving kindness, it relates to our heart. Wisdom is related to our brain. According to Buddha's message, we have to develop our heart and brain, our emotions and our intelligence. Both of them are interrelated. Both of them are very important. Not only loving kindness. If we have only loving kindness, we are so sympathy. But sometimes we do some mad deeds, mad things. We are mad at sometimes if we have only loving kindness. If we have only intelligence, we may be cunning persons. We have no emotions, no feelings, no good heart. Therefore, both of them are very important. Both of them are interrelated. Not only practice wisdom, but with wisdom we practice loving kindness. Loving kindness means that as we practice in our meditation classes, we think first of all, we think again and again that may I be well, happy and peaceful. First of all, we wish for our life, our health, our success. Then we wish other people who are around us. Because most of people in the society, they work hard for our facilities every day. Some of them are our close relatives and friends who have helped us a lot for our success in this life. On the other hand, most people in this society, actually, they were our close relatives and friends in our previous lives. That is why we have to wish them, we should wish them, we should bless upon them. If we can think again and again this compassion, loving kindness, our mind is very friendly. We have no enemies. We have no anger. Then our mind is very pure. When our mind is very pure, it means our mind is happy. We have no suffering. That is why little by little, day by day, we should go forward by practicing loving kindness. May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to them. May no problems come to them. May no difficulties come to them. May they meet with success everywhere and every moment. May they attain final bliss of liberation. Actually, at least if we can mention, may all beings be well and happy, it is okay. It is enough. Again and again, when we think it, according to Buddha's message, Buddha says that as soon as we meet a person, even though they have mistakes or misbehavior in their life, we think them as our only son or daughter. Then we have no problems. Even though they have mistakes, we are ready to forgive them if we have this mental condition. If we can look at them as our only son or daughter, we are always ready to forgive them. And also, we try to correct them if they have some mistakes. We don't blame them. We try to correct them kindly, with kind heart, because of loving kindness. When we practice loving kindness, we have not only loving kindness, another 3 qualities gradually increase when we practice loving kindness. They are, compassion. Compassion. Loving kindness, in Pali language it says metta. So, metta means loving kindness. And the second one is karuna. Karuna means we have warm heart when others are suffering. We are ready to help them. We are so sympathy. We are so sensitive. We are ready to help them whenever they are suffering because of loving kindness. We don't go away when others are suffering. As much as we can, we are ready to help them because of loving kindness. Compassion is karuna. Karuna means if we see others' problems or suffering, we are ready to help them. That is the nature of compassion. The third one, in Pali language, it says mudita. Mudita means sympathetic joy. It means the opposite of jealousy. Some people are jealous when others are successful. But if a person practices loving kindness, he is not jealous when others are successful. Parents are never jealous when their children are successful. We are also like that. When others are successful, when others succeed, we see them as our children. We have no jealousy. We wish their success. We bless them always, like our children. That is also one of the qualities, sympathetic joy. The third one, equanimity. Equanimity, we are neutral. Among good and bad, among negative and bad emotions, we are middle. We don't go to the extremes. That is also one of the qualities that we have when we practice loving kindness. These 4 things are named as 4 sublime states. In Pali language it says Brahma Viharana. Brahma means there is a higher level realm, Brahma realm. They live always with these 4 mental conditions. You know, in human level, we need some physical things, food and other drinks or something, of course. When we are going to earn those things, we have to earn some money in the human realm. You know, there are other realms, heavenly realms. There are 6 heavenly realms, and they also want some material things, but it is very surface. It is very soft. But they don't need do job because of their merits that they accumulated in their previous life. As soon as they think something, what I need, the things that they need appeared around them because of their merits that they accumulated in their previous lives. Buddha has explained those levels. You know, in our human realm also, we can see some differences. You know, when some people were born, their parents have earned everything what they need. They don't need do a job or they don't need earn money. Because of their merits that they have accumulated in their previous lives. There is a difference in this human realm also. When they go to this level, we can see it very clearly. There is another realm. There are 16 realms that we say Brahma realm. In the Brahma realm, you know, they live with these 4 things always. They don't need any material things. They live with their mental condition. In Pali language, it says, Piti Bhakha Bhavisati. They live getting food. Their food is the happiness. Their spiritual development is the food to live in their life. And when a person practices these 4 things, actually, even though he or she lives in the human realm, physically, mentally, that person is like a Brahma realm person. That is very important. You know, if we can develop our mind, bear in a human body, we can live as a God, as a Brahma, using a human body. Mentally, we are we are rich in spiritual development, spiritual position. That is so important. The result is not hereafter. In this life itself, we can see the results. We are so lucky. For the inner happiness, for the purification, for the liberation, in first level, you know, we have to practice this, especially loving kindness. As much as we practice loving kindness, other 3 qualities gradually increase day by day in our life, gaining happiness. What they are? Loving kindness, metta, compassion, karuna, sympathetic joy, mudita, equanimity, upekha. In Pali language, it means upekha. All things are in the handout. Buddha says the results, when we practice loving kindness, we can see some kind of results in this life. It is in 2nd page that he who practices loving kindness sleeps comfortably, sukhang supati. When we sleep comfortably as the result of practicing loving kindness. Not only we sleep comfortably, we wake up comfortably. Sukhang patibujjati. Wakes up comfortably. And also, he who practices loving kindness doesn't see evil dreams. When he sleeps, he is not afraid of bad dreams. He doesn't see evil dreams. And also, he is dear to and beloved by human beings. Manussanam piyo hoti. He is very pleasant among human beings. Not only among human beings, but amanussanam piyo hoti, he is just as dear to non-human beings. Who are the non-human beings? There are some hell realm beings, and heavenly realm beings, and Brahma realm beings. If, a person practices loving kindness, as the result of by practicing loving kindness, he is dear to non-human beings too. And also Devata Rakhanti, deities guard him as a mother and father guard a child. He has a good protection. Even though he has no insurance, life insurance, he has a protection. Whenever he goes, wherever he goes, actually the guardian deities and angels protect him because of his mental conditions. On the other hand, fire and weapons don't affect him. Nas aggiva visangva sattangva kamati in Pali language. And also, tuvatam chittan samadhyati, mind is easily concentrated. If a person always practices loving kindness, as soon as he sits for the meditation, it is very easy to concentrate his mind, because always he lives with loving kindness. On the other hand, Mukhavanno vipasidati, he appears to be calm and attractive. His face, his mood is very pleasant. His figure is very pleasant. Furthermore, he dies unconfused. When he dies, he has no confusion. He dies consciously, with understanding, with mindfulness. He has no fear, no doubt when he becomes death. These 10 results are visible in this life. The other result, the 11th one, comes to next birth. If he didn't attain enlightenment in this life, when he falls from this life, he reappears in the Brahma realm. When he was living in the human realm, he was practicing these 4 things. As the result of practicing these 4 things, after he dies, he goes to the Brahma realm, because his mental conditions are same. When we live, if we live as an animal, mentally, then after we die, we go to the hell realm. If we live as a human being when we are living, after we die, we come back to the human realm. When we are living, if we live as a God with good mental condition, then after we die, we go to the heavenly realm. If a person lives as a Brahma with practicing these 4 sublime statements, then after he dies, he goes to the Brahma realm. This is the nature of the karmic law. Here, there is no any other god or any other thing to affect us. This is the nature of the karmic law, cause and effect. When we put something here, it comes back to me. Because of my energy, it comes back. This is the nature of the cause and effect. Our mental conditions also like that. In this universe, according to our mental conditions, we can go here or there. This is the nature of the karmic law. No any other divine person or something do some effect to our life. These are the results when we practice loving kindness. These are the one factor, that one side that we practice to achieve real happiness. Here we develop our heart, our inner qualities. loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, equanimity. When we practice these qualities, actually we have overcome a lot of stress in our heart. We are so calm and quiet. We are relaxed. Our body also relaxed when our mind is very relaxed. And not only this side, Buddha has explained on the other side, even though we practice this side, sometimes some defilements can go to reduce, but still we have ignorance, delusion. There are three major unwholesome truths which disturb our peace of mind. In the world, they mostly have understood there are two major defilements, desire and anger. They didn't know the delusion. A Buddha appeared in the world, he has explained the third one, delusion or ignorance. The reason is, even though they have reduced desire and anger, they think there is a certain person or thing, permanent thing in the world, which goes continuously without breaking. That is the ignorance. They didn't understand, before Buddha appeared in the world, there were some persons who could go in the sky using psychic energy. Because of reducing desire and anger, they developed their mind in the maximum level. But they didn't know there is another defilement, that, unwholesome thought, delusion, they didn't understand. After Buddha appeared in the world, he explained the impermanence, explaining the dependent origination. Then, in this side, by practicing wisdom, by developing wisdom, we try to understand the world, what happens to the world, what happens to our life, which is the real truth in the world. In this side, when we are going to develop our intelligence or wisdom, we have to bring other four things to develop our wisdom. They are here in page 3. I have given those four things. Page number 3. There are four things we should develop to increase our wisdom. One of them is associating a noble or good friend who explain what Buddha taught. That is very important. It may be a physical person. Sometimes it may be a CD or book or website. However, we should have good, noble friends who explain what Buddha taught. That is one of the qualities. When we meet with good persons, we also should have good qualities. If we don't have good qualities, we can reach the good persons. Therefore, we also should increase our good qualities in our life. That is very important. The first one is associating with a good friend or noble friend. The second one, listening to the Buddha's message through that person. We need that person to listen to what Buddha said. Even though we meet a good person, if we don't ready to listen in what he says, our association is useless. Therefore, not only having a good person, we should be sensitive to listening to what he says. Sometimes when we meet some people, we always ready to explain everything what we have, our qualifications. We are not ready to ask him what he knows, what his understanding. We can say something but our qualifications, it doesn't matter, but the more important thing that we should be sensitive to ask what he knows, what he practices. That is also very important. On the other hand, after we listening to what Buddha taught, we should reflect on it again and again through our mind, through our life. There are some people, when they are in the church or in the temples, they listening a lot. After they go away, they have nothing. They have no memory. They don't remember it. They don't reflect on it. They think we have to listen in it in the temple. After they go away, they have nothing. They are the normal persons. Actually, it is not good. Whatever we listen in, we should have an ability to reflect on it again and again. That is also very important. For example, now you study here karmic law and impermanence. Then again and again, whatever we do, while you are doing something, if you can remember it, if you can think it again and again, that knowledge is going to be permanent in your vision, in your understanding. That is also very important. The fourth one is practicing the message through, through meditation, insight meditation and concentration meditation. Those four things are very important to achieve wisdom. Associating good friends, listening to what Buddha taught, wise reflection, and also practice through meditation, concentration meditation and insight meditation. From the beginning to end, on the path of liberation, Buddha has recommended to practice these four things. Any level that we are in, we have to use these four things. Again and again, even though we have become some kind of enlightenment step, again we have to listen in what Buddha explained. Even some arahants, some enlightened persons, they also have discussed Buddha's message with other enlightened persons to be for the benefits of other people, not only for them. Therefore, it is very important. Okay, with using these four things, gradually our wisdom is going to increase. We have explained the 2 steps of wisdom. I think you can remember. Wisdom can be divided into 2. One of them is the knowledge of karmic law. Yes, wisdom can be divided into 2. The knowledge is karmic law and also knowledge of impermanence. Both of them are very important. At the very beginning, on the path of liberation, we should be knowledgeable about the karmic law. That is very important. The nature of the karmic law is whatever we do consciously, we will have the same result. If we do something with polluted mind, we will have the negative results, bad results, in this life and hereafter. If we do something with wicked mind, we will have the negative results. On the other hand, if we do something with pure mind, we will have the fruitful results because of pure mind. This is the first step of wisdom. If we have this knowledge, as much as we can, we try to avoid evils, unwholesome deeds in our life. And also we try to develop little by little good emotions, good conceptions, and wholesome deeds, merits, which helps us to become real happiness. Especially, Buddhism has recommended to do 3 meritorious deeds: Dana, generosity; Sila, moral conduct; and Bhavana, meditation. Dana, Sila, Bhavana, generosity, morality, and meditation. Again and again, when we practice these 3 things, Buddha says, practicing merit means decorating our mind. As I mentioned you before, we do a lot of things to decorate, to our body, to our clothes, to our vehicles. We do a lot of things to decorate, but we do nothing to decorate our mind. Yes. By practicing merit such as generosity, we decorate our mind with good energy, meritorious emotions. That is very important. When we practice merit, it means defilements are not in our mind. Our mind is very pure and calm. If we are ready to do some good deeds, merits in our life, then our mind has no space to defilements, negative feelings. That is why we try to practice those things. On the other hand, Buddha said, when we practice, 3 meritorious deeds, we have some results. Ayu, longevity. We have longevity, good health, and good complexion. These are the results when we practice merit. Not only next life, in this life, we can see the results. Results are visible, immediately effective. That is the nature of the practicing these good deeds in our life. Not only having the karmic law, but although some people have the knowledge of karmic law, they think after they die, a certain person goes from birth to birth. Although Buddhism believes the rebirth or reincarnation, Buddhism doesn't believe permanency. Everything is impermanent. Our mind also, every moment it changes. But every thought ceases affecting next thought. Therefore, it has some kind of effect to next thought, but every thought is new, refreshed. Every thought, every moment, it arises and ceases. It doesn't go to continuously at a certain level. There are some people who are in the world as religious people, like Hindu people. Hindus, in Hinduism, they also believe karmic law, but they don't believe the impermanence, the dependent origination. They think a certain person goes from birth to birth continuously. But the difference about the karmic law in Buddhism is everything has been explained on the situation of dependent origination, impermanence. That's the difference. Although we have a next birth, but it is not the same person. It doesn't sound it is another person, but we have some similarities. But every moment, these all things change. That is the nature of our physical body and mind. However, that is why we have to become the next level, the knowledge of impermanence. Every moment, we get the experience through our senses. We have 6 senses, such as eyes, nose, ear, tongue, physical body, and mind. Although there are 6 senses, we can see physically these things, but the real sensitive thing cannot be seen. It arises at the moment. After we die, we can see this physical eye, but we can see after we die. We use this physical eye to see something, but the sense of seeing something, it is invisible. It arises, it happens at the moment when forms are together. When forms are here, when our attention is here, when our consciousness is here, when lights are here, all things are together. I arises here. Eyes arise. When we close our eyes, although we have attention, although we have light, we can see forms. When we open the eyes, if we don't have light, we can see. Although there are lights, although I have eyes, if I don't have attention, although this going here and there, I can see. That is why when somebody is talking, when somebody goes here, he can see, because he has no attention. These are the conditions. All of conditions should be together at the moment. If any conditions is not here, we can see it. That is the nature of the dependent origination. Everything should be together at the moment. Then we can have an experience.
The experience can be, depending on you, can be good or bad. But if you train your mind, it can be.
Actually, the external objects can bring us happy or worry. It depends on our attitude. For example, you are here. When I meet you, I am very friendly. If somebody is here whom you have blamed, then when he sees you, he gets upset. He is not happy. I am friendly with you. That person is not friendly with you. But you are same person. That is why Buddha said, external objects can bring us happiness or worry, suffering. It depends on our attitude. If we can develop our attitude, if we can correct our attitude with the understanding of impermanence, whether the objects good or bad, we are neutral. We have no problem. That is why we have to train our mind. In this situation, we are happy when we see pleasant objects, pleasant things, experience. We are sad when we have negative feelings, negative objects, unpleasant objects. In this situation, because still we have not trained our mind. When we trained our mind in the maximum level, whether the external things good or bad, it doesn't affect us. Because our happiness is inside. We have corrected our vision. If we can live with mindfulness, seeing impermanence, even though feelings are good or bad, they can do nothing. They can do nothing. Actually, we can do it. That is why Buddha explained, you can train your mind. That is why I explained you. Even though now we have mistakes, we can train our mind. We can overcome suffering. Suffering depends on our misattitude, our misunderstanding. If we can correct our understanding, we can see anything. We don't need to close our eyes. We don't need to close our ears. Seeing everything, we can overcome suffering. Therefore, we have to train our mind again and again. It is not easy. It is a very big challenge, but we can do it. We have enough courage. We have enough intelligence to become that situation. That is why, first of all, we should be knowledgeable about how suffering arises. Suffering arises because of no mindfulness, because of no understanding of intelligence, impermanence. After experience, we think still it is happening. That is why I always get an example that if somebody has blamed you, as soon as you meet that person, you may get angry. What is the reason? Suddenly our mind goes to the past experience. Not only it goes to past, but it lives in the past experience. Sometimes that person has forgotten it, but still we are thinking it. As soon as we see that person, as soon as we hear that person's name, sometimes as soon as we see his picture or photo, what happens to our mind? We get angry. The reason is that our mind suddenly goes to the past. We live in the past experience. because of no mindfulness, because of no knowledge of impermanence. If we are clever to understand, as soon as we have experienced something, I read my mind without going to past experience, living in the present moment. When we remind it, actually suffering doesn't come to us. Suffering comes to us when we have no mindfulness. Even though we are knowledgeable, even though we know the system, how suffering arises, if we don't have mindfulness, we are suffering. We suffer. That is why we have to train our mind with mindfulness and intelligence, with mindfulness and the knowledge of impermanence to overcome suffering. It doesn't sound after experience we are lazy. Actually, we are so active. After we enlighten, we are not lazy. We are so active. We help others. Whatever we can do, we do everything for the society. Especially, we give the knowledge to them. That is why Buddha said, among all gifts, offering Dhamma, offering this knowledge is the best gift for the people. When we give some material things, it is useful only few days or few months or few years. But if we can change some person's misattitude, it is useful for that person for his entire life. Not only this life, it is useful for his entire life, entire sansaric journey. That is why that is the best way how we practice generosity. Then, little by little, at the very beginning, we develop our heart with compassion, loving kindness, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. On the other hand, we train our brain, our intelligence. At the very beginning, we develop our knowledge of karmic law. Whatever we do consciously, according to our mental condition, we will receive the same results. With this understanding, we never try to do evils or negative deeds or unwholesome deeds in life. The reason is we don't like to suffer. Nobody likes to get suffering. If we have this knowledge, as much as we can, we try to overcome, we try to go away from negative thoughts, negative feelings, negative deeds, such as killing others, stealing, and telling lies. We go away from those evils. On the other hand, the special thing that Buddha has recommended, we have to practice samatha and vipassana. With the good discipline in our spirit, in our behavior and speech, little by little we train our mind. First level, we train our mind to live in the present moment. Whatever we do everything consciously, keeping our attention here, near the nose. When we read something, when we hear something, when we eat something, when we work, we do everything with consciousness, with mindfulness, with awareness. On the other hand, not only live in the present moment with the concentrated mind, we think about impermanence, arising and ceasing. Every moment the experience arises and ceases. It doesn't come to the present from the past. The experience doesn't go to the future from the present. It arises and ceases at the moment, in the present moment. As soon as we hear something, we see something, if we have this knowledge, nobody can disturb our peace of mind. Nobody can or nothing can bring us suffering, sorrow or lamentation. That is why day by day we should clear our knowledge. We should clean our knowledge. What we practice, where we are going to. Little by little, we try to develop our good discipline in our behavior and speech, and little by little, at the very beginning we can practice Loving kindness at least 5 minutes per day. It is enough. 5 minutes per day. Then little by little we develop it. 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 9 minutes, 15 minutes. Little by little if we can develop it, actually it comes to our physical body. It will be familiar with our day-to-day life. It may be a habit of our life. When we practice it daily, continuously, it should be practiced continuously. That is very important. At the very beginning we practice meditation as a sit-in meditation. But when we are familiar with meditation, we can use it in 4 postures. Sitting, lying down, standing, walking. In 4 postures, we can use some kind of meditation techniques. If we have mindfulness, if we do something, anything with mindfulness, actually it is a meditation. If we lose our mindfulness, even though we are sitting closing our eyes with the meditation posture, we have no meditation. Meditation is familiar with mindfulness. Whenever we have mindfulness, we are in meditation. Then actually, little by little, our happiness grows up. Our happiness develops when we practice this message. We can see the result. We mostly find happiness from outside, from our friends, from our relatives, from our other qualifications. We hope happiness from outside. We find happiness from outside. Actually, we need outside to earn some money or some education. But the real happiness arises our inside. The real happiness arises according to our vision, according to our behavior, according to our speech. Then special thing is we should correct our vision in the correct path. And not only vision, according to that vision, we have to practice this knowledge in our day-to-day life, especially by practicing meditation. We should try to develop our mind, mental situation. Finally, we have only 2 things, mindfulness and wisdom. Mindfulness means whatever we do mindfully, with awareness. On the other hand, every moment we try to think about impermanence, arising and ceasing. When we see something, we know clearly this experience arises at the moment. When we hear something, we know very well this sound arises this moment. When we eat something, we know very well that this taste arises this moment. When somebody put their hand on our hand, we know very well this feeling arises this moment. It was not here before this experience. After this experience, it doesn't remain here. Our all experience that we get through our 6 senses are also same. If we have this complete understanding, actually little by little we are overcoming suffering. Finally, we have already used the 3 unwholesome roots in our mind: desire, anger, delusion. These are the main unwholesome roots, deeds, which disturb our peace of mind. Desire, anger, delusion. If we are on this path, little by little, these 3 defilements are reduced, are going to overcome. Then for that, we have to develop our mind, develop our knowledge, and practice in our day-to-day life. Then little by little, we can achieve the final bliss of liberation that we like to achieve one day, especially Our main purpose of our life is happiness. For the real happiness, we should understand what is the real happiness. Our real happiness depends on how far we are reduced these three defilements: negative thoughts, negative feelings, desire, anger, and delusion. For that especially we have to practice loving kindness, and also by listening what Buddha taught, we have to practice three disciplines: virtue, concentration, and wisdom. This is the path that Buddha explained to us very kindly to achieve in this life. Okay, have any question?
Yes, the difference between the concentration meditation and the insight meditation, because for me they look like very similar. What would be like the differences?
Actually, concentration meditation focus on keeping our mind in the present moment. We clean our mind from negative feelings, such as, desire and anger. The purpose of practicing concentration meditation is reduce desire or big attachment and anger or ill will. It doesn't reduce delusion. The purpose of practicing insight meditation is to reduce delusion or ignorance. Even though some people have practiced concentration meditation, even though they are very clever to keep their mind in the present moment for a long time, if they think it is permanent, actually they are in ignorance. When we practice insight meditation concerning impermanence, arising and ceasing, we try to reduce the big defilement, big unwholesome deeds, that delusion. Delusion is the very dangerous unwholesome deeds. Desire is the results are not vast, but it is difficult to overcome. Desire. Anger, the results are big, huge, but it is easy to overcome. But delusion, the results are very huge, and also it is extremely difficult to overcome. Delusion, that we think as permanent. After experience, we think still it is happening. Even though you parked your motorcycle here, even though you don't think it, you may think still it is there. Actually it is there. It is true according to conventional truth, but according to ultimate truth, it appears as soon as you think it, as soon as you see it, as soon as you hear that sound. When our senses appear, then the experience appears. When our senses are not appeared, we have no experience. The experience arises when our senses appear. This is the knowledge of practicing insight meditation. When we practice concentration meditation, we have no this knowledge. We try to only clean our mind from desire and anger, keeping our mind in the present moment. It is very useful to become insight meditation, but the concentration meditation is not the destination of the liberation. Concentration meditation only the middle way, middle one. The first one is virtue, the second step of concentration, the third step is insight meditation or wisdom. The purpose of concentration meditation is to keep our mind in the present moment, decreasing desire and anger. The purpose of practicing insight meditation is to keep our mind with impermanence, seeing, arising and ceasing. Both are important, but but the results, the benefits are different. It is clear?
Yes.
Okay. You know, before Buddha appeared in the world, there were some persons who had developed concentration into the maximum level, but they didn't practice impermanence. Therefore, they could attain some kind of Brahma realm, but still they are in the samsaric journey. Buddha's message focused on to go away from the samsaric circle.
The Brahma level, is it on the 6th or on the 16th?
6, the heavenly realm. There are 6 heavens. After that, there are 16 material Brahma realms. They are physically, they can see. They can be seen. But there are other 4 things, other 4 Brahma realms. Immaterial Brahma realms. They have only mind. Their body is invisible. Yes. But all of them are impermanent. They have a lot of years, they have billions of years, they can live at that realm. But it is also impermanent. After they finish their psychic energy, they may come back to the world, to human world. Actually, divine heaven Brahma realm persons, directly they don't go to the hell realms. Gradually they come to the down level. Especially they come to the human realm. When they are in the human realm, if they do some unwholesome deeds, as the result of their evils, they may go to the hell realms. But after they finish their psychic energy, they usually don't go to the hell realm suddenly. It is also gradual. But the special benefit as human beings, we are here. We can develop our mind, we can go to the heavenly realm, Brahma realm, immaterial Brahma realm, or enlightenment, or if our mind is polluted, we can go down level too. We are so beneficial as human beings. We are so lucky. But if we don't meet this message, we mostly do unwholesome deeds. And most of people as human beings, they go to the hell realms. If they don't meet noble persons, if they don't have noble association, they don't meet this message, and they may do some negative deeds or evils, and they may go to the down levels, unfortunately.
And it doesn't really matter if they follow another religion,
Buddhism doesn't say that if a person practices other religion, they go hell realm. Buddhism doesn't say it. You know, other religious people also practice some good deeds. They practice generosity, they have good conduct, good discipline. As the result of their good deeds, they may go to the higher realms. Even though there are some Buddhist people, although they do bad deeds, they also go to this level. They have no excuse. Qualities has no label. Good qualities has no label as religions, Buddhist or Christian or Islam. If you practice generosity, even though you Buddhist or not, whether you Buddhist or not, you have the results. If you do bad deeds, whether you Buddhist or not, you will have the negative results. It depends on your attitude. But Buddhism is like a light to show the path. That is very useful for us. If we are Buddhist, if we are real Buddhist, we always try to listen in what Buddha said and we try to follow it. That is the benefit. But even some Buddhists, they don't care what Buddha said, and sometimes they also may go down levels.
Do you know, do you know any numbers of people that actually go and reach enlightenment? Do we know like how many people or percentage that
in this period, in this time?
Yeah.
Actually, I have met some people, I can believe they have some kind of spiritual levels. But it is difficult to say that they have become this kind of levels. It's said that if a person becomes some kind of spiritual development, he knows his situation. But mostly they don't tell that I have become this level. They usually don't tell. But sometimes when we are very close and when we practice some qualities with them, sometimes they may say, but we can't recommend them because it is so complex. But however, in Buddha's period, because there were some spiritual persons who could read others' mind, they could realize others' enlightenment. But we are not like that people. We can guess them through their behavior. We can guess, but we can't recommend. It is very difficult. But when sometimes if we discuss with them, if we are knowledgeable, what Buddha said, then through discussion we can realize, we can understand what position they have come. That is why Buddha said, you should know people who are intelligent through discussion. Discussion is the way how to know a person is enlightened. Behavior, it is not enough. There are some people who are very disciplined, but sometimes they cheat others. They can cheat others through their behavior. But when we discuss with them, we can understand their intelligence, their wisdom. Okay, however, the special thing is that according to Buddha's message, we should try to see the results through our life, not through outside, not through other people. If we are intelligent, we can study this message and we can see the results in this life through practicing through our life. That is the best way. Okay, thank you for your coming. Today we discussed a lot about the path that leads to get rid of suffering. Especially, in one side we have to practice loving kindness and other three things. On the other hand, we have to practice wisdom. On this path, we have to practice virtue and concentration. However, especially according to what Buddha said, day by day, we should develop other four things: associating good friends, listening to what Buddha taught, wise reflection, and practice through insight meditation and concentration meditation. Okay? By listening to Buddha's message, we discussed a lot and also we accumulated a lot of meritorious emotions and conceptions. And by the power of all these merits that we accumulated, let's transfer these merits to our beloved departed relatives too by reciting stanza. Idam me ñātīnam hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātīnam hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. Idam me ñātīnam hotu sukhitā hontu ñātayo. By the power of all these merits, may guardian deities and angels also receive these merits. By receiving these merits, may they also keep their eye on you too. May they develop their energy and their life. And with that intention, let's transfer these merits to guardian deities and angels too. Etthavataca amhehi sambhatam punya sampadam. Sabbe deva anumodanto sabba sampatti siddhya. Etthavataca amhehi sambhatam punya sampadam. Sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya ettavatācayamnehi sambataṃ puñña sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. By the power of all these merits, may you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no problems come to you. May your all wishes meet with success. May you attain final bliss of liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dukkham pantāca niddukkhaṃ, bhayam pantāca nidbhayāṃ, sokam pantāca nissokāṃ, anto sambe pipanino. May the Triple Gem bless you.